planned have you compromised any of your creativity ideas throughout this year in process?
How do I motivate myself is a big question uh, to answer. I mean, I think it's a very, like a very basic human question, because whatever we all do in our lives, I mean, I guess we get up every day and we try and do our best. And I really don't have a great answer for that, other than I'm just, working hard and constantly trying to grow as a human being. And whatever I learn as a human being, I'm trying to bring it into my work. And I think I've become very comfortable now, even more now than I was earlier, in sacrificing a lot of my life for my work. So I'm willing to pay the price to just do my best at work in my life. And the second part of your question was, are there compromises? Definitely. I think there is no life without compromise, no relationship without compromise. Even on Brahmastra, I cannot tell you, there are so many things when I hear some feedback also that my mind wants to say, Arey, but I had already thought of this, but then I couldn't do it this way. Or, this is what we hoped to do, and then we were not able to do. I'll tell you one interesting thing. In RRR, the interval sequence where all the animals jump out, which was an incredible sequence. Now that sequence is done by Namit's company as well. And a few years ago, I had this incredible sequence with a bear in Brahmastra 1. And even now when I meet Namit, at that point of time, because of budget constraints, we had to cut the bear out of part 1, and it was a great sequence. And then on RRR, a few years later, they managed to put in a sequence with a lot of animals. Even now when I meet Namit, I'm like, you made me compromise, you made me take out the bear. The second half would have been better if the bear was in it. So you of course compromise, and you still try and do your best.
You bear it and grin.
And I think in filmmaking, and any of the younger filmmakers or people in the process of developing and creating, we don't ever call it a compromise. We call it a creative adjustment. And it just makes it feel better.
And as I said, you grin and bear it. Yeah.
Hello. Hi, my name is Abhijit Murudkar and I'm from Arena Animation, Dadar. My question is like, you have many artists who wanted to be a good concept artist. So how do you select a concept artist for these projects? And what is the process?
I'm desperate for concept artists. Literally, before you go, come up and speak to me, and all your people, I will connect you with people in our office. When we started making Brahmastra, I also didn't know, because I had not made a film like this before. One of the first things I learned is that we have to start with concept art, the visual script, because that's where everything takes root from. The visual effects, everything starts with concept art. I need to find concept artists. In fact, we looked a lot, and we were looking the way that like a startup company would look. We would go online and write, who are the concept artists in India? Even for a company like Namit's in India, they struggle with finding good concept artists. So we are definitely on the lookout. And to build this big Astraverse idea and part 2 and part 3, we need a big group of concept artists to come in and work with us. So give me your number and I'll connect you, and give us all your friends' numbers as well.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Hello. So, good evening, everyone. Hello, I'm a filmmaking student, and first of all, congratulations to both of you on your success of your film, and I hope the second film also reaches even more heights. My question to you is, as you have pitched your film to multiple studios, even like Disney, and even to him also, so the initial part of your script which you had in your mind, it must have changed multiple times, and you have incorporated a very crucial element of this country, that is mythology, which can't be factually wrong. Or like when you incorporate something, it can be interpreted wrong way. How cautious were you while writing those elements in your script? Like it can be interpreted wrong way. How can it create an impact that can be a bit problematic for you later part of the time?
No, I hear you. Let's call it like Indian history, basically. I'll answer the... Okay. I'll answer the second part of your question about the touch of Indian history. So, I think that's one of the magic ingredients in Brahmastra. In the title, the this Indian spirituality history, I think it's what has also attracted a lot of people in, along with the visual spectacle, you know, so I think it's a very important ingredient. And I've thought about it myself. I realized that early on, that, you know, if the bedrock of this fantasy needs to come from Indian history. I did not approach it in a very scholarly fashion. I approached it in a very emotional fashion in part 1. In fact, as I move on to part 2 and part 3, we might get a little more academic on, you know, on astras and reading a lot more about like Indian mythology. But on part 1, I have to be honest, I approached it in a very emotional manner. What was my connection with my faith, with God, stuff that was in me that I had forgotten, what were the kind of shlokas I had heard, what was my understanding of Hindu philosophy, and I just expressed it. And I went with the idea that if I do this in a pure way, with a pure heart, that somehow it will go through very naturally and people will not have any issues with it. And I think that's kind of what happened as we put the film out. We didn't really have any issues with anybody, you know, pointing out things that they were uncomfortable with. I think we had one issue with like Ranveer clicking the ghanti in our trailer and, you know, he was wearing shoes. But other than that, it went through really nicely. So I think that instinct of mine worked.
किसी की भावनाओं को ठेस नहीं पहुंचा. Let's put it that way. There's a lot of bhavnas around in India.
So, good evening, everyone. So my question to you, sir, is that in order to commit yourself into making a film like Brahmastra and, you know, creating the entire Astaverse, it's very important, like you said, to have, you know, the same long-term association with the same cast and crew. So how do you plan on, you know, retaining the same cast and crew for your further movies? Because like we have seen in the different universes, like with the Marvel universe, we have seen that it has worked for them, that they've hired the same director, the same cast over and over again. Like the Iron Man did not change from movie 1 to movie 3. So, but it did not, like DC did not do something similar. So it did not quite work out for them. So how do you plan on retaining the same star cast in the crew?
No, I'll answer your question partly because what's your name?
Akash.
Akash. Yeah. So my vision definitely is that as we move forward in this journey, we bring in more cast members into this world. But I think with what Ranveer and Alia and certain other people, Mauni Roy, Mr. Bachchan, what everybody did for us on part 1 is that they paid the biggest price, the blood price, to help us get this whole thing going. Basically, you know, I don't expect us to take that long to make any other project after this. So on the Brahmastra trilogy, of course, we continue with this cast and with Ranveer and Alia. But I'm hoping that as we venture out to work with anybody else now, it won't be that as challenging as it was for the actors on part 1 because they won't have to commit that much of their time to get it done.
There was this, yeah. Yes, lovely lady.
Hello,
Please
sir.
allow her. She's been wanting to ask a question.
Hi, good evening. My name is Nandini. Firstly, congratulations. I saw the film, loved it. And just wanted to understand, like both of you being the creative masterminds that you guys are, I mean, in the process of making the film, did you find any creative disagreement between the two of you? Which...
To be honest, not at all, because this was completely born within Ayan. And every bit of the film, every element, every part of it, every aspect of Brahmastra was created within his, and from his imagination and his visualization. So there was no way I could disagree, because how do you disagree with somebody's vision to this extent? I mean, you can give your input and you can, like, there were sequences when we saw, it was never a disagreement, it was feedback.
There was stuff Karan didn't like also. You know, we have this big Kali Puja sequence in the film now where Ranveer there was another sequence there. And the second time you saw it, you were very harsh. You really, I don't know what I'm allowed. I'm allowed to say that you really bitched about it. Am I allowed to use that word?
I didn't say bitch, I said the scene was terrible. Yeah. And I said, I think you need to reshoot it. And there was actually, and we can say it now, but Kesaria was shot in another way. Kesaria, and already we got some flack for, like, he was on his way to save, you know, the he was the artist, but they sang a song before that. But it was Kesaria, so hopefully it was
Which, by the
forgiven.
way, we plan to release just for fun. in
Yeah,
a
we
few
are.
days.
But there was actually Kesaria shot with Ranveer dancing, like quite feverishly. And when we saw the song, I was like, Ayan, what the hell is going on? Like, why are they dancing? Like, he was literally doing a dance on Kesaria was a different track. Same tune, melody, but treated differently. So then Ayan himself realized that it had to be treated as a love song. So we reshot Kesaria and the scene prior to that, which he made into the Kali Puja scene, which was before that in Isha's house. And that's why people talk about where did Isha come from, what is Isha's roots, but it was all there in that scene. But we had to compromise on her backstory for the pace of the film.
Creatively adjust.
Creative adjustment, yes.
Oh, we're very happy with the way it came out finally. Thank you.
How sweet,
One
thank
last question. One last question.
Sir, to your right. So Karan and Ayan, both of you, you just said that you like your critics, maybe trawlers. So how much you owe the success of the movie to the boycotters and the trawlers? How
Oh,
much?
you owe to the trollers?
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Faceless, nameless people, dear sir, don't deserve any acknowledgement, and they certainly haven't contributed to the success of Brahmastra. In fact, if at all, it was our film was an answer to all their negativity with just the light that Brahmastra had.
I'm a reviewer myself. Let me tell you, I'm a reviewer, not a troll. I'm a reviewer. I don't think any reviewer in the world has the power to change public opinion. It is you who make a film a hit or a flop. No reviewer, no trade analyst, no critic can change the public opinion. You read reviews and you forget them. If you agree with that, you say, हाँ उसने ये बोला था, उसने ये लिखा था. But perish the thought that we can change how people think. What is important is the word of mouth after the release.
And full respect, and on a last note, full respect from all of us as filmmakers to opinion. I mean, and it's come in the form of reviewers and genuine audience feedback, and as we say, saranko par. We'll take everything, because once you make a creative product, it is going to be open to all kinds of interpretation and opinion. And we are absolutely, completely fine and actually accepting of everything. But it's trollers and negativity that haven't even perhaps seen the film. They had just started abusing the film for no reason. अरे but आपने picture देखी है, आपको कुछ पता है picture के बारे में, आपको कुछ नहीं पता, बस आपको बस बोला गया है कि आप जाके, like you know, like somebody, one group has been formed and they just want to troll it for fun sometimes, you know, it's like.
And what is amazing is, suddenly, I never knew I was in such a glamorous profession or such a paying profession. Suddenly everybody has become a trade analyst. Suddenly everybody talks figures. You know, और ये तो loss करेगी तो. Ask them what is gross, what is net collection. Ask them what is the cost and what is the revenue. Ask them how much of the revenue comes to the distributor. I will leave this industry if they can answer those simple questions.
No, and that is absolutely true. And but Ayan and me, I think he gets that a little bit from me also. Is that we are academically obsessed with box office. You know, it's something that has been. I remember reading your magazine as a child. Like, not that I'm aging you, but because I'm also 50.
Because
years
I was
old.
also a child.
Yeah,
we read
you
it
were
together.
A child. In case you thought, but I'm sure when it was a family magazine. I remember Saturday sham ko aati thi, and my father used to bring it and tease me, and he's saying, "I'm not giving it to you." And I was like, I wanted Anikas to read the percentage of opening and all. Like I used to read it more than my own report cards.
Thank you. You all have been a lovely audience, and thank you, Karan. Thank you, Ayan. Thank you so much.
And thank you on behalf of everyone at FICCI and Leena and the entire team. We are very, very grateful for having gotten this opportunity. See you at the movies. Thank you.
Wishing all the parts of Brahmastra bountiful of successes and a group picture for our memory's sake. If you can, three of you can come together and step ahead. Yes. Looking forward to the remaining parts of Brahmastra. And on that note, we close FICCI Frames Fast Track 2022. Goodbye, everybody. This is Manasi taking your leave. Have a lovely time ahead.